Welcome back to episode 3 of StoryCast 21. I'm Jane Secker. Millions of people run marathons every year, attempting to complete the 26.2 miles or 42 kilometres in as fast a time as possible. But in Vienna in 2019, Eliud Kipchoge set out to become the first person ever to run the distance in under 2 hours. An undertaking rated as difficult as Roger Bannister's attempts to break the 4-minute mile. This is Marathon Man.
I'm Enda Brady, I'm a Sky News correspondent, and in my spare time I'm an amateur marathon runner. In August of 2018, we went to Kenya, my training partner and I, for a new race. It was a series of marathons, 5 cross-country marathons in 5 days. And on the morning of the 5th marathon, when everyone's pretty broken up and just wants to get it done and punch it out, the organiser had said, everyone that gets to the finishing line today, right by Ol Pejeta, north of Nairobi, the capital, the incentive is Eliud Kipchoge is coming down to present the medals.
It's about 300 metres from the gates to the finish line. Eliud Kipchoge is going.
My name is Eliud Kipchoge. I'm a marathon runner or a sportsman by profession. I was born on 5th November 1984 in Kenya.
Eliud Kipchoge, he must have dreamed of these moments. He must have.
And they were running from Lewa to Borana to Oljoki, and I think they finished in Ol Pejeta.
Into the sunshine now in more ways than one as the finish line lies ahead of him. He's going to.
Kipchoge, to me, until I met him, had always been this kind of rock star of running. He'd won gold in the marathon at the Rio Olympics. He had Olympic medals going right back to 2004 and was just a few weeks away from setting a new world record for the marathon with the time of 2 hours, 1 minute and 39 seconds. For me, to meet him in Kenya, it was like jumping through the screen in the cinema.
I really am happy for his comment, actually, because I want to inspire people, and I want to be always next to everybody who is human being. So I don't want to be so high. I want to be low, but actually near the people.
I was intrigued by him, his times, the victories, the Olympic medals, everything he's ever achieved.
When I was a boy, I was really running fast, and I always emerged actually among the top in running. So I think I enjoyed running from the beginning.
He was running his whole life. He'd run to school, he'd run home from school, and then he would run off and sell dairy milk to keep the family finances going.
4-time London Marathon winner Eliud Kipchoge hoping to become the first person in history to run a marathon in under 2 hours.
A couple of years before we met, he had tried to break 2 hours in Monza, which is the Formula 1 track in northern Italy.
I think I was like a boxer who is going to the ring, and he doesn't know whether he will be knocked out or he will win by points. And I missed by 25 seconds.
He missed it by 25 seconds. Now in marathon running, that's a lifetime. Scientists have been looking at the running data of marathons for decades, and it was their view that it could take 50 years before we'd see a human, if ever, go under 2 hours. I said to him, will you try again? And he goes, it would be my dream to try again.
I don't believe in limitations. I always say no human is limited. Let us make everybody in the whole world to believe that if a human being actually set a goal, believe and work on it, he can achieve.
And I think it was in his head at this stage that if the opportunity presented itself with the right team, he would absolutely try do it again.
During 2019, my management actually gave me a hint that there is a big company called Ineos. Actually, headquarters is in London. They wanted to see a human being and making history. And we had a very good meeting with Jim Radcliffe and the Ineos team. And I told them, yes, I'm ready to train for it. And I go back to Kenya to train for London Marathon, and then after London, immediately for the Ineos 159 Challenge in Vienna in October.
Well, Enda is in Vienna this morning, where that attempt is getting underway in the next few minutes. Enda, the anticipation building up. What are his chances in reality?
I think he has a really, really good chance today. The date was chosen as October the 12th, 2019. And it was a university park, and that would be the route. It would be laps of this park in Vienna. And Ineos had a vehicle which would be driving and travelling at precisely 13.1 miles per hour, with a laser beam being projected in a horizontal line back. And that was the speed that green laser was travelling at. That was the speed Kipchoge would have to match and run at to get under 2 hours. So there were 41 pacemakers in total. These were all guys capable of running a kilometre at 2 minutes 50 for 5 kilometres. The average fit person who runs regularly and is fast will match Kipchoge for 400 metres, and then they will burn off. So the pacemakers would peel in and peel off. One guy would join in at 10k, another guy drops out, and so forth.
It's about a team, to show the world that the pacemaker in your life is the best way to follow a positive mind in this world. I tell the pacemakers and everybody who was there, let us go up to the moon and come back to Earth again.
This was the running equivalent of a rocket leaving Earth. They were the energy. He was in the cockpit, and he needed them to provide the energy, get him to the moon, and then land safely back on Earth, all in 1 hour 59 minutes.
Well, the stage is set now, and it's over to Eliud Kipchoge to run his fastest. This is where it will all come to an end, one way or the other. And if he crosses that line, even a split second under 2 hours, he knows he becomes a sporting immortal. For years.
When I got down to the finishing line, where we started doing our reports, it was very difficult to gain access. We had all the correct press accreditation. Unfortunately, there was like a VIP area that was sealed off. They had a great vantage point, and we didn't.
Were you gone quiet? Is someone in the gallery just... Okay.
So I had the stress of, how am I going to see this race? How am I going to commentate on it? And we're just literally by the side of the street like everyone else.
Centre of the shot. Yeah, okay.
You go on TV, you know, there's something wrong with you if you don't get nervous.
Pull back a bit, pull back a bit. Wider shot, okay? You got that?
And
okay.
I remember just thinking, how nervous would you be if you were rocking up to the start line to do something that no human has ever done before?
15 seconds.
Time was really running fast, very fast. But 15 minutes before I start warming up, then it was like 2 minutes.
5.
So it was really going very fast. And sometimes, I know I was nervous, I was really tense.
Marathon running is a mental sport, and he will be looking at split times on his watch. He's got his coach there, Dutch guy who's a brilliant character called Valentine Trell. He was keeping up with him on a mountain bike when the event got underway.
I mean, it was a wonderful Pinarello bike. My role during the race was just to see if anything unexpected would come up, either with the pacing car or with the pacemakers, to be able to give some guidance to get as smooth as possible through that situation.
All the way I used the car to see on the right times.
So he's using this big screen on the car in front of him to check he's running each kilometre in the required time of 2 minutes 50 seconds per kilometre.
But in the end, science without the human being ready is nothing. He is the one running, he is the one handling the pressure, he is the one living for months, focusing his mind and being ready to handle that pressure.
They ran in a kind of arrowhead formation so that he was protected. And like, for the ordinary person, you don't really think about wind being a factor. They wanted to remove every single potential threat to him going under 2 hours. They needed perfection, absolutely everywhere. At any marathon, so many things can go wrong. Something as basic as the laces in a shoe come undone. And yet, the nature of the marathon, it is such a long distance, anything can go wrong.
Enda Brady is in Vienna this morning. How's he doing? How have they started off?
Yeah, absolutely textbook so far. 10 kilometres done in 28 minutes. It is just incredible, the pace.
My mind was on the time and actually on this running under 2 hours. So I was thinking what will happen at 20 kilometers and 30 kilometers, and also at the last kilometer.
So the big screen is giving you the information, what pace they're running at, how much time he has in hand on the record to go under 2 hours. And then, because they're running so fast, every 2 minutes 50 seconds is a kilometre falling away.
My concern was the splits. My concern was the energy which I had in my body.
Is he going to do it? That's the big question. Is he going to do this? And he just ran free, kept going. The arrow formation stayed good. The pacemakers would drop in and drop out. And once they got past 32 kilometres, anyone who's run a marathon knows in your head then, I've less than 10k.
Now let's take you to Vienna. And if he's going to do it, Enda, he's got to do it in the next few minutes.
Keep talking anyway. I've just worked out Eliud Kipchoge has a 9-second cushion.
And then the gallery at Sky News, they came live to me with a good, I'd say 5 minutes to the end of the race.
Seconds. He's looking at running the marathon in 1:59.51.
And then you realise that there's just me talking, commentating, trying to convey this history that's almost upon us to the Sky News audience all over the world.
And they're into the last, really, where it hurts in a marathon, the last two.
With 5 kilometers to go, then actually my mind was telling me that today is the day we'll run under 2 hours.
And then 5 kilometres, a few minutes later, down to 4, down to 3. And I was frantically sending messages back to London saying, he is 19 seconds in hand. Do not come off this. Stay with me. You are about to watch history.
He's inside the last kilometre now. Eliud Kipchoge inside the last kilometre.
The last kilometer, I feel that it was really joy in my heart because I was sure I will run under 2 hours. And I tried to push all the time to make sure that I really finish in a good way, but also in an energetic way.
It's happening. He's coming up beside us here now. This is out of this world.
Less than 200 metres to go, and the pacemakers, they slowed it down. They knew that they'd done their job, and the last 100 metres would be his glory.
Here he comes. He's got 1 minute to go now.
This was the moon landing moment. This was the rocket coming into land.
He's pointing. He knows he's done it. He knows he's done it. Look at him. He's picking out people in the crowd.
When I was pointing, I actually telling the people in this side to celebrate together. On this side, we celebrate together.
1:59 for a marathon. He has done it. Eliud Kipchoge of Kenya. He has done it.
This is making history. I'm in the record books of Roger Bannister, the first person to climb Mount Everest, the first person to go to the moon.
Kipchoge crossing the line in 1 hour, 59 minutes and 40 seconds, 0.02. Everyone was just ecstatic and euphoric for him because it was just the greatest thing that could happen to one of the nicest people you could meet.
I hope soon people will run under 2 hours. But I will remain the first human being who have actually run under 2 hours.
Kipchoge has just made history.
Eliud Kipchoge's achievement in Vienna has never been officially recognised by athletics' governing body, the IAAF, because of the pacemakers and technology used in his attempt. Former Kenyan Olympic medalist Patrick Sang has been Eliud Kipchoge's primary coach since 2002. Marathon Man was written and produced by Robert Mulhern. If you want to learn more about this documentary, please visit www.skynews.com/StoryCast21. Next time, an out-of-the-blue text message sparks a dramatic rescue in the Aegean Sea.
My wife was next to me and wondering why I was furiously texting and actually helping to coordinate a rescue that was taking place, 1,000 or so miles to the south.